And we're live. This is the Wood. Goodbye, y'all. See you tomorrow. No. What do we do here? What happened? What the fuck? How fuck you do?
We mess that all up. We get wood. It's so good. That's what we do here.
That's right. With a drunken Australian. Oh, a drunken, angry Australian.
But.
Yeah. What?
Okay, we got a couple things to unload here. And I know one thing Red Eye's happy about, I'm pretty sure. The resignation of Boris Johnson.
Sort of. He said it's time to look for a new replacement for him, but he didn't particularly resign now, did he?
He'll be fucking. He's packing his bags from Downing Street as we speak. Don't worry.
He's gone.
His party.
And it's because they want him going, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
This time last week.
They all quit.
Well, he's fucked. He's just fucked. His position's untenable. And when the leadership spill was on, 148 people voted against him, but he just got across the line. He should have left then, but he was an arrogant prick, and he thought he had the numbers. And apparently, one of his ministers was running around grabbing some other ministers on the dick.
Pincher.
And he didn't do anything about it, and then pretended that he didn't know anything about it when in fact he did know about it. And standards and
but
all
he
that.
said he did know about it, but he thought it was resolved. He changed his story so many times.
Well, there was more than one fucking complaint about the guy. That's why it's come down on him like a ton of shit. So
No,
Boris Johnson should never have been elected. He wasn't fit. It's like any man that thinks he can get the people to identify him before the press conference, rubbing his hair up and scruffing it up so he looks like a little scruffy scallywag. So, I've got something in common with the common people. Wow, it's like, fuck off, Boris. Because there's plenty of photos out there when he's in private and his hair's perfect. So, get fucked, mate. Get fucked.
Well, another something that's way sad, and I hate this. Legendary actor James Caan passed away today.
Yeah.
That was sad. I mean, if you don't know who James Caan, which a lot of young people may not know who James Caan is, and that's understandable. But James Caan has been in some of the most iconic movies of all time. He was in Godfather. I mean, you can't get bigger than that. And did a great performance as well. And also, I noticed that Galen Poe tagged me in this today because he knows I'm like know about shit like this. But James Caan based his character off Don Rickles, the comedian. Godfather. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's like how Johnny Depp based his character off Keith Richards.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like what Caan did. Caan was also very well known to be connected. By the way, he was because of the movie Godfather, but he was very close to the mafia.
Well, he had to do character studies, right?
Yeah, he was a friend. But there's a lot of stuff. Look at Sinatra, man. Sinatra was.
Yeah, he was in tight. He was protected. That's for sure.
He was protected. That is 100% sure. So, and I like those. Those dudes are the fucking definition of cool, in my opinion. Dean Martin and Sinatra, definition of cool, in my opinion. I really love those guys. I do, man. Sammy Davis, all those fucking dudes were awesome. But anyways, may rest in peace, and I hope his family. I mean, James Caan was 80-something years old, so it wasn't like a shocker, but still.
See, I'm not as into the gangster movies, but I liked Misery, and he did a guest spot on. He played himself on the radio once.
Well, that's exactly right. He was in Misery, which is another iconic film.
And that says something right there. Like, he's so big that he played himself as a guest on news radio.
Yeah, he did.
Like, you don't get the guest as yourself unless you're somebody.
That's one of my mom's favorite movies. I brought it up. Misery is one of her favorite movies.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's one of my favorite books.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good book. It's one of Stephen King's better written books, actually.
Indeed. Agreed, much so.
Yeah, a lot of people, because Stephen King's got good stories. I've never thought Stephen King was like the greatest writer.
He describes too much, and it does get old.
But in that one, he's
the
very good.
description of a car or whatever gets to be tedious.
But he's an imaginative motherfucker, though.
Yes, he is.
He has a wonderful mind. I love Stephen King's mind. Just brilliant writer. Just the way he puts. It's like something. Have you ever tried to read 50 Shades of Grey?
No,
One of the worst put together books you'll ever. I wanted to see. Somebody told me, dude, you ought to try a little bit. Just read a little bit. I read a little bit. I fifth grader could have wrote better than this. It was just junk. It was just not good. It wasn't. To me, it wasn't even creative. To me, it was very well based on that movie that came out in the fucking 80s with Mickey. What's his name? Mickey, the one that's face is all fucked up now. Shit. I keep thinking his name. But Bass Singer Chick. They came out with a movie. And to me, 50 Shades of Grey is based off that fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's poorly written book. Hey, Morgan.
Howdy.
Way to join us late, bitch.
Well, I just got home.
Just got him.
Yeah.
Why am I the only motherfucker raising?
Now my computer's acting up.
I'm getting sick of your ass. I'm getting sick of your ass, bitch.
Who, me?
No, not you.
No.
Anyways, ain't nobody watching right now. We got like a couple people watching. It's fine. We're just talking shit. We're talking. I don't know how. I'm all over the place. I was talking about James Caan. Then I started talking about 50 Shades of Grey somehow. I don't know how the fuck I got into that. But I'm all over the place. But anyways, we first brought up Boris Johnson, the dumbass. But yeah, he got fired. Basically, yeah, I know he's supposed to be resigning. He got fired. So anyways.
Wait, isn't he? He's the Prime Minister of the UK.
Yeah,
For now.
Yeah.
he's leaving office
I know people constantly compare him to Donald Trump.
because of the hair shit.
Yeah.
And but like Red Eye said though, there's pictures of him in private, so his hair wasn't like that. He did that hair like that for show.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I watch BBC and they're interviewing him and stuff, I mean, he seems much more elegant and I guess,
they all seem more
presentable.
elegant than we do. I mean, you can
That
get
accent.
the dumbest British person in the world, and they still sound more intelligent than we do.
I need to start talking in.
Well, unless they start talking in Cockney. When they start talking in Cockney, they sound like fucking idiots.
Like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins.
That just sounded a little racist, just saying.
What?
Well, hey, people from the
Those
South sound
Cockneys
stupid.
are fucking idiots.
No, I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding.
How's that racist?
I was joking. Calm the fuck down.
Fuck you!
So you heard
Yeah, that was racist. Telling me to saying "fuck you." That's definitely racist.
Well, you hate Asian people.
No.
There's too many of them.
Hey, shut up!
What? There are. The planet's overpopulated. They're doing most of the overpopulation.
There's too many of
Numbers.
everybody, John.
I agree.
farm fiction.
But they do fuck a lot, though.
Now, China, they're pretty you're reading about their displacement issue where soon it's their largest demographic is going to be people of retirement age. So
Yeah.
in demography, when it comes to socioeconomics, when people are in their 30s and 40s, those are the golden years when it comes to their contribution to the economy. And what's going to happen is that their biggest demographic is going to be people who are of retirement age, and they lack the women to make up for the displacement of Earths and everything, and they can't generate their own economy because they rely on outsourcing labor to the West and everything. And India is bleeding into that market, and the Philippines. So they're pretty they're in quite the bottleneck.
That population is pretty much all first world countries are in that spot right now, where we have way more old people than we do young.
Yeah, but with them, it's like,
Oh, it ain't
Like-
gonna be pretty for us either.
yeah, but for them, it's to a much greater extent because of the one-child policy. So with us,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like,
ugly.
yeah, it's like a 2-to-1 ratio. With them, it's like a 6-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust any official numbers out of China because here's the problem in China. There are all the forgotten sons and daughters that are out in the western provinces that got booted out of the cities where everyone's got the privilege. And there's, believe it or not, there's 2 Chinas. Make no fucking mistake. There's the China that you see, Beijing and all that, and there's the China they don't let you fucking see. That's where all the Uyghur work farms are and all of the shit, all of the stuff they don't want you to fucking see, all of the misery and shit. So all of those people that are displaced,
cheap products.
no. Here's the thing: there are millions of these people, the second and third sons and daughters.
Yeah, that's
a lot of daughters too. There's a lot of females that they just basically got piffed. They're gonna fucking come looking for a bit of fucking payback one day, and there's millions of them. Fucking millions of people that are just social scores in China. It's so fucking broken. It's a fucking fucked up nightmare dystopia. It's kind of like Cyberpunk that went horribly fucking wrong, and you got social points. And if you do the wrong thing, you don't even get to ride on a bus.
Rita, I got a question, and I swear to God, I'm not being funny or nothing like that, but I was thinking about this the other day, and it's going to sound stupid when I ask you this, but I was really curious. I don't know how to ask without sounding like an asshole, though.
What's that going to change? Just ask.
How is it that it became where a lot of Australian men talk so nasally?
Eucalyptus oil being emanated from gum trees.
Okay, see, it was a good answer because I did not know. I mean, honestly, because it's a thing, and I was just wondering because I'm stupid.
Yeah, I think probably all just collectively fucking allergic to eucalyptus oil.
Because I know there had to be a scientific reason for it.
That's what I tell people. I've got no fucking idea. Apparently, it's a thing though. There's eucalyptus oil. It creates a blue haze when the trees are doing their thing, and that's why they call the Blue Mountains the Blue Mountains. But,
And also, after I watched the movie Wolf Creek, every time I hear an Australian dude, I pee a little bit.
So it might.
I believe. Wait a minute, John. I believe that the main character of Wolf Creek was one of the scariest characters in all horror movies. I do believe that.
I've never seen that film.
I fucking loved it. I loved it, and the series too. He stars in both of them, and he's fucking great. I don't know the name of the actor, but he's fucking phenomenal.
I know. Was it Walkabout? That's a big, revered Australian film. It's about the 2 prissy British kids where they're first generation Australia and they get lost in the outback and an Aborigines dude has to help them find their way home. And there's a language barrier.
What?
Yeah. Oh, you've never seen the film?
No.
No, John. It must be one of those comedies you like.
Yeah, really upbeat film.
should watch Razorback. That's a good documentary.
I've seen Razorback.
They need to remake that shit. Because with today's technology, you can make a really good animatronic pig.
Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. I've also say, which they say it's one of the worst Stephen King movies made of Stephen King. Now, I don't care. I would love to see Maximum Overdrive redone with today's technology.
I don't know how you could really improve on that movie because it was pretty fucking good back then.
I liked it, but a lot of people say it was the worst movie ever made by Stephen King.
No,
I don't.
That's a stretch.
Well, that's the only movie he ever directed.
The only one he ever directed. Yeah, he directed it. It's also got one of the best fucking soundtracks ever.
But The Running Man, that's a movie I want to see them try to do again because the film had nothing to do with the book. And that's one of my favorite Stephen King books. And It's actually he was pretty clever and inventive with like the world building, the cyberpunk kind of setting, and the movie kind of squandered all that. Because like in the book, the whole point is that these like agents are after him for the show, and he can pretty much go anywhere he wants in the country, and he's on the run. And it's like they're milking it for entertainment, and there's like cameras everywhere. And in the film,
he can go anywhere he wants in the country. It's limited.
Well, I'm saying like in the film, it all took place on like a set on a stage, so it completely kind of like went against like the kind of like setting and like kind of aesthetic of like the setting of the book.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm being fun. Anyways.
The Rock. I'm joking. I hate The Rock. No, I reckon The Rock could do an all right job starring in fucking a remake of The Running Man. Arnie's just too fucking old. So you don't have to have a fucking big motherfucker in there.
Well, the guy
someone with gravitas.
Well, like in the book, he was described as being kind of like average size. Like it was more of his wit and his inventiveness that got him out of all the predicaments.
Hey, so look, the ladies deserve a bit of eye candy now and again, so just throw The Rock up there, get his shirt ripped off within the first 5 minutes. The ladies are happy for the rest of the movie.
Right?
You know, pretty simple formula. It's like Rock, shirt ripped, bare chest, oil him up.
Transporter.
And then, shine a light on him so he's all shiny, and then the ladies are just like, oh.
This is the best part of the transporter too, right? When he like rips his shirt off to use it to catch guy and spin him around and stuff, and they make it seem like it's all legit, like he needs to rip his shirt off.
No,
he did though. Really did.
Ooh, comment in the chat. Red's favourite movie is No. My favourite Australian movie is the original Romper Stomper with Russell Crowe. Go on, if you haven't seen that, you want to see a fucking dark movie that accurately portrays Australian society back in that era, watch that fucking movie. Basically, our military was full of skinheads, and on their fucking downtime, they used to go down to Chinatown and whatever city they were on and start shit. Now, if you haven't seen the original Romper Stomper, I'm not talking about that fucking shitty remake. I'm talking about the original one with a young Russell Crowe playing a character named Hando, who is one of the scariest fucking characters in a movie you'll ever fucking come across. The dude's a fucking psychotic motherfucker. Just happens to run a fucking crew of skinheads. And shit gets fucking crazy. One of the most fucking terrifying movies I've ever seen, because I knew shit like that was actually happening legit. It's just like, this is just a portrayal of actual real life in a skinhead fucking crew. Holy fucking shit. So look for the original Romper Stomper, and that's my favourite Australian movie. And then Bad Boy Bubby. Oh, and Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em is number 3. If you haven't seen that, that's fucking funny. It's our take on a nuclear holocaust. Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. The bong and bang cocktail scene is my favourite, where the dude smokes a bong and sticks his head in a microwave and goes, turns it on and fries his own brain till he's dead. Because they're all been exposed to fallout and they're all fucking dead anyway. They're just dying from radiation poisoning. So they're all down in this bunker partying and killing themselves off in unique and interesting ways. Smoke them if you got them.
Yeah,
and the final scene's fun.
Yeah, I had Shab watch.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had Shab watch Bad Boy Bubby, and he told me I had a very fucked up like taste in film.
Well, Bad Boy Bubby is fucked up.
Yeah.
And you do have fucked up taste in film.
I think that I have a very I don't know. I don't think I'm really that hard on films. Like, I'll watch like Bill Hicks had us watch the G.I. Joe film the other day, and I mean, I'll watch films like The Giant that are like long drawn out, like kind of soap opera-y romance films, but I'll also sit down and watch stupid films. I find that I'm not that much of a snob when it comes to movies. I kind of like films of all different genres and varieties.
This is true.
I reckon I
maybe too many.
Quit a movie. It's called The Insidiously Evil Dr. Skullhead Face, and it's made by Gwar, and it's got Jello Biafra in it. And it's the most fucking. It's Gwar, and it's a movie made by Gwar. with Jello Biafra in it. And then I'm like 5 minutes in, I'm going, what the fuck is this shit? But I just, oh, cool, it's cool. And I just watched
Jello Biafra?
Jello Biafra from fucking... Don't you recognize the lead singer's name from the fucking Dead Kennedys? One of the most influential punk bands ever? Dead Kennedys.
It sounded like you were saying Jello Biafra. I'm sorry.
I said Jello Biafra. That's what his fucking name is, Jello. He ran for the mayor of San Francisco, I do believe, in a election, and he actually came second, from what I understand. But they disqualified him because he ran under not his true name, which is fucking funny. Yeah, Jello's awesome. Dead Kennedys. If you haven't listened to them, they're fucking great. Political punk band.
I got a tip here. Let me see. Go. It's from Here's Negan. Says, please have me on sometime when I'm available. I'm going to bed, though, to be honest. I don't care if I'm on. I just want to chill with Pimpmunk. Hi, G. Hi, Red Raisin.
Hello.
I have the OG Romper Stomper and Bad Boy Buddy in my favorite Mad Max, too. He gave 50. Thank you so much, buddy.
Nice one. Thank you very much.
You got to match that, John Morgan.
Do I? Shab's going to beg me for tips tonight.
Well, fuck Trubisky, dude. I mean, he's a little bitch. No, he's not. I like Trubisky. He just don't talk to me much no more.
Oh, one more movie recommendation. A man. You might have heard of a man named Peter Jackson that's made a couple of movies in his time that may
he made a little movie called was that old fucking
Lord of the Rings or whatever?
Yeah, Lord of the Rings independent shit.
You need to go back and look for a movie he made before he got really famous. It's called Meet the Feebles. Think of the Muppets, but with drug dealing and pornography in it.
Yeah.
That's his movie, and it's fucking hilarious.
By the way,
you need to watch Meet the Feebles.
By the way, I do want to say some people probably going to disagree with me and hate me. I think his version of King Kong fucking blew balls. I thought it was horrible.
His what, King Kong?
Yeah, his King. I thought it was so
I really liked the movie. That was one of those movies that everyone hated.
I thought it was a pile of crap, dude. It was a pile of fucking crap, dude. I thought I think the only performance in the movie that was salvageable was Jack Black's.
Like I'm the kind of person where actually I really like movies that are these 3-4 hour Gone with the Wind giant kind of romantic tearjerkers. So I like King Kong. They pretty much
that was not a tearjerker.
I know, but I'm saying it's
well, it was because it was so fucking horrible. It made me cry.
I saw it when I was 10, and I really, really liked it. And it was 3.5 hours long.
Wait a minute,
and
did he just say that? He thought when he was 10. Oh God, he makes me feel old as fuck.
Yeah, my grandmother took me to watch it, and she was shocked at how immersed I was into the film because it was a 3.5 hour long film, and the other my cousins were bored to tears and everything.
It was really dragged out. It really was. It was just way entirely too long.
Understand.
For the story of King Kong, it was way too fucking long.
I understand why people had a problem with it. It definitely probably should have been a different it shouldn't have been under the King Kong name. So I can understand.
It was how long was it? It was almost 4 hours long.
Yes, and that's. I like the scenes when they're on the ship and the scene when they're parodying the first film and she's going all out with the acting and she's I've never been on a ship before. And he's well, I've never been on one with a woman before. And
it was bad. It was just horrible. It was not good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that many movies. The movies that come out in the last 10 years, I've just given the fuck up. Even I've given up on Netflix and all that shit. It's just it's on YouTube and it's old and it's free. I'll watch it. It's They Live. You can find that on YouTube. I just watch that when I want to watch a sci-fi movie now because at least I know I'm going to fucking like it and chuckle at several scenes. And the fight scene in that when they beat the shit out of each other is one of my favorite fucking fights.
That also shocked a lot of people that, just some little, wrestler guy came in and starred in it.
and
good.
nailed it. It was
Nailed
that,
it. Yeah, right. He was good. Roddy Piper was very good in that movie.
yeah, like that movie really stands the test of time. I fucking love it. In fact, I would go so far as to say, doing a remake of that
That'd
might be fun if they got the right people in to play certain parts, and they'd have to be very, very selective with the casting. Not change the story at all, really. Just maybe some modern effects for the aliens would be pretty cool. It's just a good fun.
Rock in it. I stick Rock in everything.
Well, I don't know if they'd have enough money to pay for Rock, because Rock's basically top tier now.
He is the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
Yeah. Really?
Yes, he is. He's the biggest. He's considered like the biggest star in the world in Hollywood. I mean, he's fucking huge, dude.
Huge, man.
I mean, he got, and I want to see Black Adam coming out. I want to see that, the new superhero movie he's got coming out, Black Adam. I think it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, look, I saw the shorts and I was like, shit, I'm not really familiar with the character,
but it looks cool. It does look good.
Yeah, I'm on board. I'd like that. That's actually something I'd be interested in seeing. I don't know if I'd go to the cinemas and pay through the fucking nose to watch stuff like that now, because that's not cheap. It's like,
and he's also going to be starting the red one. I don't know what the fuck that is, but some kind of superhero.
No idea. But that would be a good fun ride to sort of go on.
Yeah, I'd like to see Black Adam. I think I may go see it, actually.
Is that in the Marvel or DC universe? I'm not familiar, so don't kill me, chat, for not knowing. I'm not sure if it's Marvel or DC. Does anyone in chat know if it's Marvel or DC?
Oh, yeah, definitely, Pete. The Rock is a good. I mean, he's very charismatic, and he is. I mean, I can see why people like. I like him as an actor.
His acting's getting it gets better every movie he's in. I'll just say that if you go back and look at the way he used to act when he first was in The Wrestler, and then you go and look at some of his latest appearances, like, dude's smooth as fuck now. Like,
he was Doom, like the film adaptation.
Yeah, he was pretty good in that. I liked it. That was a good fun. It was a fucking Doom. What's Doom about? Doom's about demons, the planet Mars, and demons. A demon infestation on Mars, and a BFG, a big fucking gun.
It's about bing bing boom boom on Mars.
Yeah, it's pew 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 on Mars with the BFG. That's what fucking Doom. That is the whole plot of Doom. It's like, demons. He's a crazy old demon slayer. He's the BFG, and then and heavy metal, and that's fucking Doom. And yeah, we're gonna make part 2 to Doom. What are we gonna do? Let's see. Demons. Yep. Check. Cranky old demon slayer. Check. BFG. Check. Heavy metal. Check. Release the game.
What about a romantic love interest?
Not required.
No.
The BFG is the romantic love interest. It's like, oh, I love you, BFG. Pew, 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 pew.
I think if they make a Doom sequel, they should have a blind kid and his dog that are on the Doom shuttle. That's Doom Guy's child. And it's the first time that he's seen his kid in 10 years because his kid lived on Earth. And his wife, who just died of cancer, sent him up there right when the outbreak happened. And then when they go into the portal of hell and he takes his blind kid in there, he gets to meet his mother. Because it turns out everyone goes to hell and things are pretty hopeless. And he talks to his mother for the last time.
Fuck are you rambling about?
That's John Morgan improv.
Yeah, this is what it's kind of like a room full of monkeys, and there's a whole bunch of things written on a wall, and they start throwing their shit at the wall, and it's like, all right, we're using that as part of the plot. That's part of the plot, and that's part of the plot. It's like, okay, part of this plot is plants secretly hate the sun. It's like, what? Okay.
I don't like what I came up with there. I gotta pitch this, but get rid of the Doom concept.
Yeah. Plants secretly harbor a deep hatred for sunlight.
Someone blew up the Georgia Guidestones.
No.
That's a
They
thing.
did what?
Georgia Guidestones are gone now.
Damn.
Somebody blew them up at like 4 o'clock Wednesday morning.
Detonated them,
One
did they?
of the 4 was completely destroyed. The capstone was damaged, and they just knocked them over.
Well, shit.
Honesty.
Freedom and liberty and all of that shit, I guess. Happy 4th. Boom.
I'm gonna blow up Mount Rushmore and Stonehenge.
God,
Stone-
John, you
Stonehenge-
just said you're gonna do a
Alright.
terrorist attack.
Now, Mount Rushmore, I kind of
Well, I won't
get.
kill anybody. I'll just destroy property.
I kind of get Mount Rushmore. It's apparently on indigenous land that.
Right?
Yeah, the architect behind it was a member of the KKK, or he was a founder of the KKK.
I wouldn't mind if Mount Rushmore had an oopsie. It really wouldn't upset. But Stonehenge, it's like, do you really want to mess with druids, dude? Do you really want to fuck with the druids?
I still say I know.
We're all upset, Gage.
I still say not blow my word.
Isn't that your jam, Gage? The Georgia Guidestones. That's your shit, right? That's your state. You should be proud of your creepy Stonehenge.
Georgia is weird state anyway.
Yeah.
Which we're all weird states, though. We all
But
get.
that one's right on top of
By the
Florida.
way, you know, like the native people, right? Okay, let's get this right. You know that a lot of native people does not mind the Indian name, right? They don't.
I have noticed that more and more people seem to be saying it again.
Yeah. See, we have a festival down here in Choctaw, Mississippi called the Choctaw Indian Festival. That's what it's called. And it's put on by natives. And there was somebody said something about, we need to change the name, and the natives were like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, I guess if
Was it a white person who wanted the name changed?
Probably.
A white person who claimed to
after the
be.
whole change all the mascot names and change everything, a bunch of people who probably were getting cared for instead of caring about it themselves were probably just like, fuck it, we own it now.
And I may be going to the Tupelo Comic Con here in Tupelo, Mississippi, because there's a couple of people that are interested I want to meet. Like the dude who does the Aqua Teen Hunger Force, the dude who does the French Fry voice, he's going to be there. And I want to meet him.
That'd be cool.
And the Rock and Roll Express is going to be there too. One of the greatest professional wrestling tag teams of all time.
All right. So I just had a quick look at these Georgia Guidestones. They're only made in 1980, so it's like
They're only 40 years old.
Yeah, it's just it's a modern art installation. It's not like it's a
Yeah.
historical fucking thing that's been. I
Yeah,
thought it was
it's
something
like
that was made by.
Overnight, under a pseudonym and shit. Like,
It's like they call it the Georgian Stonehenge. It's like, no, Stonehenge was made a long time ago by some weird, freaky motherfuckers that understood things that they probably shouldn't have had an understanding of. Maybe kind of, sort of, how it all lines up with certain planetary cycles. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, it was some religious ceremonial thing, I think Stonehenge was.
Yeah.
Well,
here's something that ties into that, John Morgan. I have 182,000 followers on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Superstar.
What percent of them are Native American?
There's 7 of them. I don't know.
Wow.
What percentage of you are Native American?
I am. Well, my great grandmother was a Choctaw princess.
Oh, for
I'm 1/898th.
Hold on, Von Helton. Just hold the phone there.
fuck's
What did you just say? Yeah. What did you fucking say there, Von?
Choctaw princess.
898th Native American.
Fucking hell. Goddamn Von.
My grandfather, he had these tattoos, and he told me and my sister that he rescued an Indian princess when he was in the military. That's talking about his tattoos.
I know a lot of older people used to say that shit like that. I'm telling you, and
Well, he was trolling us. He wasn't being serious.
But no, there is people that actually used to say that shit though about Indian princess. Like, there's no such thing.
Yeah, and everybody wanted to tell you they were 1/16th Native.
Yeah. So that's like I had a dude one time. I heard a dude. I didn't have a dude. I heard a dude one time say that he had 2% black in him, so he could say the N word.
Pretty sure that's not how that works.
I mean, I've been black a lot of times, and I still don't say the word.
Also, again, No, that's not how
No,
that
we've
works.
already scientifically proven that I have.
No, we haven't.
What we told you, it's got to be what up the butt, and it's got to be finished.
Well, then again, I'm not been black.
I've consulted with Mrs. Parker, and she assures me that what you're doing is racisms.
I took her black card.
Woo,
You're doing a racisms, and it's not cool, man. Just saying, just putting it out there.
A lot of people, like white people,
She didn't
claim
say that. You're lying.
You're doing a right.
Red Eye is being dishonest right now, folks.
He is not.
Nope.
He would never. She should shoot you in the eye with hamster.
Everybody knows I'm black.
I will tweet. I will create a Twitter account just to tweet Miss Parker to get her in here, and then I will also get Monty to come in here and also remind.
Oh, let's get the whitest black guy you could ever find to come in.
Oh, you just did another racism. Oh my goodness.
He just can't help himself, Red.
God, welcome to the Racisms
I'm
podcast.
a fucking TikTok superstar. I can do what I want.
That's an appeal to TikTok numbers fallacy.
What?
It's an appeal to TikTok number fallacy.
TikTok number 5. I like that, actually. I actually like that,
But talking about like race and like proper words and language and stuff, one thing that's kind of annoying is when you talk about South America and Latin America, it's like Latino means that you're from Latin America, Hispanic means you're from a Spanish-speaking country, but then they use it to describe a race when none of those words are used.
Yeah, because they're Americans too, actually.
Yeah.
Because
but I mean,
shit is nonsense. They should be talking about ethnicity, not some concept.
But it's annoying because when you are talking about ethnicity and you're talking about other countries, like people freak out like you're talking about race, and it's like you shouldn't be looking at Mexico like it's a race. You shouldn't be looking at Argentina like the race.
That you don't have to be any.
Yeah, I do, but people are stupid.
Well, it's like a big controversy.
That's true. There are stupid people. Yes.
It's like a big controversy that happened a while back on TikTok with an African dude, which is he was white, right? But he was born and raised in Africa, so he's African. I mean, so he came on there, and a lot of African Americans started telling him that he couldn't say that he was African.
What the fuck?
Well, that's
and then but a lot of African black people was coming out like he's more African than your ass is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
look,
you're talking about.
Up checking the African American box until she finally decided she didn't want to anymore. And when people were like, "Well, why wouldn't you? Do you have a problem with the color of your skin?" She said, "No."
The problem is,
here's the problem. Is from Barbados. She had nothing to do with Africa.
Here's the problem, and I think we'll all agree with this. The problem is that we, as Americans, and it's probably in other cultures too, but we all live in a bubble, and we think everything affects us. Everything's about us. And it's like, you know, like people will come up and start talking about the slave trade and don't know shit about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they don't know shit about the slave trade. They didn't talk about slave trade. And yet, so a lot of these people don't know. They just know what they hear on Twitter. And, you know, they don't know shit. Because they live in a fucking bubble. And all they want to hear is what they want to hear, right?
Well, when you talk to people and you've actually like read a book or two on the topic or taken class on the topic, you're arrogant because you've actually done your homework and knowledge is a justified true belief.
Yeah.
And they who like their only information is from hearsay and word of mouth, like they're not arrogant even though they're acting like they know more than you when they have less.
I don't talk to people like that though. I don't talk to people who will sit there and argue points because all they have is talking points, right?
I don't think
they don't have shit to back up talking points. I don't talk to them because I may not be the smartest motherfucker in the world, but if you go sit down and try to argue me and try to prove me wrong, you better have more than talking points.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of us also people just don't understand like semantics where words can have more than one definition. And it also depends on like the context. So like you were saying with like the person from Africa where they're white, it's like, well, there's nationality and then there's ethnicity. So it's like
that's the big thing.
Yeah. So if you're like born in Japan and you're black, then it's like your nationality is Japanese. Your ethnicity would be whatever your genetic roots are. So if like you're from Japan and you're born in the United States, your nationality is your American, your ethnicity is your Japanese.
I think people pay way too much to the whole, like, well, I'm Irish American or English American.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Just be who you are. Shut the fuck up.
I'm Neanderthal American.
The only time I ever find that interesting is when people actually take part in their heritage and culture.
Yeah, I get all that. That part,
and they actually have grandmas that are cooking them German meals, and
I get that.
going
I
to
get
German
that.
festivals, Polish festivals, stuff like that.
No, I get that.
I think it's fine. Celebrate your culture for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
but to wrap yourself in it as like, this is what
everything you are.
Like, you're not your name, you're not where you were born, you're not the complexion of your skin. You are you, and if you don't figure that shit out, you're just going to be a drone.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that's like, because here's the truth, folks. With the complexion of my skin, I had nothing to do with it. It's not an accomplishment. It's nothing. I didn't do nothing. I came out this way.
It also has nothing to do with how smart you are or how much potential you have.
Yeah,
anything else.
There are people that, like, you see that a lot with like white supremacists. It's like they'll talk about accomplishments from like white people and stuff, and it's like, you had nothing to do with those accomplishments, and it's like that's the only way they can feel special or relevant. It's like they have nothing going for them, so it's that kind of like hive mind kind of mentality
they
of like
a team so they can be on a winning team.
Yeah,
people are too competitive. Competition in that way is.
And we're too tribal. Way too fucking tribal.
We take everything that should be good and help us propel, and we turn it into something dark. Tribalism is something that could be good, but we lock down and we oppose each other with it. You don't have to have a like, just because you're a part of something doesn't mean you have to participate in out group.
If we ever started judging people on individual basis, this world would be so much better.
There are a lot of people I've met
that requires critical thinking.
Not enough, but it's always.
I'm talking about everybody. Everybody judging. And John, you're right. It does require critical thinking, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people can't handle that.
You can
like
see
I said, the data,
though, right? Like, we live in a world where we're not trained. Like, our educational system has not trained us for critical thinking. It really hasn't.
No,
and we're in a society where if you think about it too hard, you just kind of want to freak out, right? Like, we're sort of trapped in the system. You're a cog in the machine, and that's what you get to be. Like, every time you I'm going to go do something, you try to think of and you are just. There are taxes and laws and regulations.
Like you're placed in,
Yeah. Like, even with I mean, just as like international marriage, right? Like, you can't even fall in love and be husband and wife if you don't get permission from two separate countries. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird. Why? Because I was born somewhere and they were born somewhere else. Like, that's the whole thing. I mean, but then it's weird because, like, well, what do you do otherwise? Do you just do I don't have that answer either, but I can definitely say that I can certainly identify with how people could end up feeling like just a cog in the wheel and retract. And if they could choose, I don't know how they do it, man, but if I could take a head injury and choose to not think about the shit the way I do and just be a happy cog in the wheel, I think I'd rather just be a stupid happy cog in the wheel at this point.
Well, it sucks because, let me say, everybody's like labeled and tagged as something. Like, if you're from the South and you're white, maybe you're racist, right? If you're, from Chicago and you're black, you're a gangster.
Stereotype.
It's so fucking ridiculous. It's just being tagged like that, and because most people hear my accent, see the way I look, a lot of people automatically think this guy's a racist. Then when they hear me talk, they're like all shocked and shit.
What do you think about being bigoted towards somebody because they're a geek?
You're such a geek.
I'm saying, like, what do you think about people where you have glasses and you sound like somebody who's probably works like a IT job or something, and they automatically take all these other traits of like
You
neck
bring
beards and
everything
apply
back
to
to you, don't you, John?
Yes, exactly.
You're such an engineer.
What's that?
Engineers, man.
Dude, nerds. But that's the thing, though. Nerds and shit rule the world. You can't. I don't see people picking on geeky people these days. Nerdy people.
I think
Nerds.
Yes. Nerdies, no.
Bit of an important news thing coming in. Someone has reportedly just shot the former Japanese Prime Minister during a speech. He's collapsed and bleeding and is in heart failure after apparently being shot during a campaign speech in Western Japan. Local media is reporting.
I just seen that pop up on Twitter, too.
Oh, my God. Dude, the world is fucking coming apart at the seams, dude.
When was the last time somebody successfully assassinated, like, a head of state?
Today, apparently, or a former head of state. It sounds like that he's died, so...
I'm sorry, that's not funny at all. But when you ask the question, like today, apparently.
Yeah, so, there you go. That's not fucking good.
I think, it's not funny. It's just the way it was happened, the way you said that. You said it today, apparently. I'm a dick. I'm sorry.
You're a horrible person. You waited 0.3 seconds after you found out the former Prime Minister of Japan was shot and to
I'm not making fun of him shot. It's just the way John asked the question. You immediately had an answer.
Well, how's the Emperor of Japan doing?
The Emperor of Japan? They've probably got him in a bunker by now, protecting him. Well, that's not good.
It's very bad. It's horrible.
People dying, it's bad.
Yeah, John, you didn't match.
Well,
you didn't match that tip tonight. You're pissing me off now.
I'll do it later.
Don't do it now, John. That way God will love us.
I'm busy reading about this person getting shot.
And Putin has openly just said, hey, the West, come at me, bro. Come at me. He's openly challenged the West. He says, you want to sort this shit out in the battlefield? It's like, hey, Vlad, there's about 4 months worth of footage of your T-72s being doing the jack in the box trick of their turrets flying 150 feet in the air. You're running out of T-72s and you're pulling the T-60s out of fucking storage. Those things are 40 years old, Vlad. Do you really want the West to come in with their state-of-the-art shit and bitch slap you? By the way, the West has been bitch slapping you for the last 3 months because all those weapons that have been thrown at your fucking troops, they're from the West, dipshit.
And by the way, folks, there's a lot of shit people make fun of American stuff about, but nobody makes fun of the way we fight.
No, well, no one questions the fact that you've mastered the art of warfare in every theater on the planet. The only theater that you haven't tested your fucking combat skills in yet is orbit, and that's coming. Just give it fucking time. That Chinese space station's coming online. We'll have one up there, and there's going to be space wars. It's going to be great, and the moon. Can't wait for the moon.
Everybody say hi to Mama Pimp.
Hey, Mama Pimp.
Everybody said hi. Hey, everybody. She said, "Hey, everybody." Now get your old ass back up there.
Beat him with the broom.
Yeah, so Vladimir Putin is utterly insane.
Yes.
And he says, we've barely started in the Ukraine and dares the West to come at him on the battlefield. It's like,
come on him on the battlefield.
I think he's got like some kind of like nuclear fallout shelter where there's a city of like Kremlin aristocrats living there.
Putin's got a god complex.
Well, I'm saying he's gonna like nuke the fucking planet, and then there's gonna be like an army of Russians living under a nuclear bunker that come out and start assimilating.
Look, his whole thing was, I don't want the Ukraine to join NATO. Well, that's gone pear-shaped because now another 2 countries right on his border are going to fucking join NATO. So instead of just having the Ukraine join NATO, he's now got all of these other countries joining NATO, and he doesn't care that Ukraine is going to join the EU. He said, that doesn't worry me because that's not a military pact. Well, yes, whatever,
Yeah.
mate. He
They're
doesn't make any
establishing,
sense.
Yeah, they have a EU military.
Yeah, he's trying to rebuild the USSR.
Yep.
He really is trying to create another Soviet Union, and it's not going fucking as well as you'd hope because here's a lot of your problems are going to be a lot of the people that live in those former satellite states don't want to go back. There's partisans in Belarus. First week of that war in the Ukraine, these partisans in Belarus basically took out the whole rail network and kept blowing shit up. So all of the things that were getting railed in for the Russians, it was the start of their problems with logistics, was these fucking partisans in fucking
And by the way,
Belarus
a lot
blowing
of the
shit up.
Russian people are totally against.
Well, have you seen the acts of sabotage coming from within Russia? And there's some really nice footage of this drone, right? And if you have a look at the drone, it's like, I've seen those drones somewhere before. That's a strangely familiar design that maybe the Ukrainians have been using. And you just see this drone go, and it's flying over the top of a gas refinery, and then you just hear the engine go and cut, and then this thing just goes into a fucking nosedive, and then you hear kaboom, and then you see a small explosion, which is followed rapidly by a very large fire that spreads in the middle of this gas refinery. It's like this shit's getting attacked. Munitions factories in Russia being blown the fuck up, gas refineries, oil refineries, they're all being fucking hit. And you won't see that on the Russian news, but you'll see it slip out of Russia because things like Discord haven't been blocked. And it's, good luck, Vlad. Your country's
There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of Russian people who are totally against this shit.
But there's still plenty of Russians that are on board. I've listened to lots of intercepted phone calls between Russian frontline soldiers and their Russian parents and stuff. I've also heard phone calls from dudes that were living in the breakaway parts of the Ukraine. And here's what the deal is there. The Russians are using them for fucking cannon fodder, and they're not even paying them their combat bonuses at this point. So none of their hearts are in it. That's the big problem that the Russians have is Vlad might want to do it.
They don't.
But all the motherfuckers on the ground are there for a week or two, and they see their mates getting blown the fuck up by artillery fire because they're constantly being brought, and they just don't want to be there. And they're openly saying on these phone calls, we've loaded up a Ural, we've got extra fuel, and we're just going to drive for the Russian border. Blyat, which is a Russian swear word. So they're saying basically they're openly rebelling against their own commanders.
Yep.
I
don't want them. Yeah, so I don't want, because a lot of times when wars and shit like this happen, people get, but it seems like a lot of the Russian people don't like this.
Well, there's a lot of anti-war sentiment, but it gets crushed underneath the fucking
all the propaganda.
Well, the thing is,
and they've got their
Russia,
own version of the secret police that go around arresting the fuck out of everybody if they don't toe the line.
Yeah, so even though people aren't legally allowed to speak out, they're doing it anyway. So it's not like in the United States where you don't have to worry about getting arrested and thrown in jail for protesting against the government.
You couldn't even call the war. You could get arrested.
It's not a war.
War.
It's not a war.
Not
this
to
is
them.
a special
go to jail.
It's a special military operation to ensure the security of Russia because the Ukraine is full of Nazis. It's to denazify the Ukraine. That was the official line.
Yep, and
this
if you don't
this is not a war.
say anything but that while you live in the Russian borders, you will be arrested and put in jail.
Yeah, and I've seen some of the propaganda commercials that they run on TV about this.
No. Oh, I heard some. This is brilliant. So I forget. The German version used to be called the Stasi, I do believe. I forget what the Russian version is, but it's basically the secret police. I'll use the term secret police. Please forgive me. I know that's not the correct reference, but the propaganda being put out by the secret police in Russia is right now America in chronic. You guys are having a famine, and you're also having horrible blizzards which are freezing everything. It's like, oh, hold on. Isn't it summertime in America right now? How can you?
And where I am, but
this Russian soldier laughed and he went, "How can they be having these freezing things? It's summer in America because it's summer in the northern hemisphere." And the people of Russia don't click onto these simple things, these lies being told them. It's so blatantly easy to see through. It's summer in America. It's not fucking blizzard season in America. It's the same
It's hot
as
as fuck in America right now, especially my area.
In Afghanistan they call it fighting season, you know, because it's like it's not fucking snowing. Let's go out and shoot shit. Woohoo! So yeah, that's the level of bullshit being pumped into the Russian people. They're being told that America is in famine and there's constant blizzards right now and your crops are failing because of the blizzards. But it's like it's the middle of fucking summer.
Yeah,
so how does that work?
It's so weird. It's weird.
And that's right. There's one other bit of propaganda that someone in the secret police has told some soldier on the front line, I want you to assemble these items, put them somewhere in a group together and take a photo of them. Right? So there was a cell phone and some other stuff. And then there's a copy of the PlayStation game, The Sims, with this mobile phone. And it's a terrorist starter kit, apparently. They weren't supposed... Instead of getting SIM cards for the cell phone, the dumb fucking idiot has gone and found a copy of the Sims video game and gone, duh, blip, and thrown it in the pile and gone, click, taken the photo and published it as their propaganda for the terrorist kit. And there's like a copy of the Sims instead of a SIM card. It's like, oh, you fucking simpleton. You idiots. It's like, what? Why would you put in... And it wasn't just one copy. There was a couple of copies of Sims games. So they probably said, get several SIM cards. Dude's gone, Sims, blah, dear, blat.
Okay, we got a couple minutes left. So I want to now... Next week, I am trying to... Over the weekend, I'll try to get my friend Sarah Mascara on next week that I met on TikTok. She's so fucking great, dude. Such a talented young lady. And cute herself. And I think you guys are going to dig her. She's funny as hell. She raps. She got all kind of skill sets. And she makes candles. And she's supposed to be making a candle and call it the Pimpmunk scent and all that shit. Yeah, so cool. So we're going to have her on. And also, I'm working on another special guest for next week as well.
Apparently, our hospitals have just cancelled all elective surgeries because COVID surge. Jesus fucking Christ, really? Again?
Where?
What? Yeah, because over here, people are just acting like it never happened.
Yep.
I mean, seriously, people act like it's... Every now and again, you'll see somebody wearing a mask.
Well, we've hit 10,000 people dead now because apparently no one gives a shit and everyone's just like, we're good. So there's like this big push now. We're going to have to get a fourth shot. And it's just like...
I'm going to need to get mine.
Lies from the government. They're just trying to...
But here's the thing. Before we do go, I think a lot of this, we're acting like, like I said, kind of act like it didn't exist, that, like it never happened. It's because we got so fucking tired of it, right? And I understand, so what? Who gives a fuck? Get tired of it? It happened. But it was like everybody's just so done. And I understand that, but it's also, look, we still got to take precautions because it's still out there.
Yep. Could mutate into Captain Trip still. That's whatever. I think we've all become so just, we're fatigued, and I get it.
Fatigued, yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
And I'm going to start taking a book out of a lot of Asian countries, and every flu season, if you go and look at the footage, everyone just wears a mask. It's
definitely.
It's not that bad to wear a mask. Seriously, you got to have some seriously fucking skinny nasal passages to go, I can't breathe while I'm wearing this.
But when I wear a mask,
shut up.
My glasses always get misty.
Shut the fuck up. I don't care, John.
And I get acne.
The glasses do get misty, though. I can't stand that either, but
look, just like Red Eye said, look at the news when you're watching in Asian countries, get those masks. Yeah. The ones that are nice and tight fit that have the little filter in them. They won't do that. I also
get like acne, like around my chin and stuff when I wear the mask.
Wash your face and wash your mask.
It's too much work.
Well, then you're going to have acne.
Bathe in lava, John. That gets rid of acne. Every time, I promise you. If you bathe in lava, you'll never have a problem with acne again. Legit. I promise you. Acne will never bother you again after you've bathed in lava. Just trust me.
Gage gave files and said who pooped.
Yeah, all I do
Right.
is
Go Putin.
you pinch your mask off around your nose properly, and you actually put your glasses out and rest them on the top of the mask, and guess what? No more fog. Boom. Boom.
If you have it fit right and you have the filter on it, it should breathe in and out through the filter.
And once again, too much work.
Oh, then
I'd rather just not wear a mask.
Yeah, we know.
Well, I mean, most people aren't anymore, so at least most people over here seem to not.
I'd like to get the T-51 battle armor from Fallout and just walk around in that shit. That'll even T-45 will do me. I'm not that fussy. Just give me some Fallout armor and I'll cruise around in that.
Mike, my thing is I think the government needs to just start telling people to not get vaccinated and to not wear masks, and then you'll start seeing everybody wearing masks and getting vaccinated.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you can't tell me you're not the boss of me now.
All right, guys. Well, it's time to go.
Huh?
Sadly but true.
Okay.
So, anybody want to cuss John Morgan out before we leave?
Yeah, fuck you, John. There you go.
Oh, if you want to cuss me out, come to my stream tomorrow and on Saturday, and you can cuss me out there.
I will do that.
Tomorrow and on Saturday?
Well, they want to start doing it on Friday as well.
Whose idea was that? Is that Shabisky's fucking idea?
That was, I think, Dirt's idea, actually.
Fucking Dirt. I love that guy. He's really cool.
I don't like it.
There's only one guy around there that, nope, not interested.
No, Dirt's the man.
No.
Dirt's cool.
Dirt's got the most luscious locks I think humanity has ever seen. It's
Yeah,
like
it's got nice hair.
luscious locks, like long flowing hair. What a god!
But John Morgan's got a hog
He's
on
an
him.
Adonis. What?
John Morgan's got a hog on him, though.
Whoa.
That's what I thought you said. I was like, wait, what?
You got a big old dick, don't you, John?
Now, remember all you
Yeah, I got the
libertarians out there?
It's
Don't-
better when we can see his face. I can imagine it, though.
Oh, we got to quickly address the libertarians out there. Whatever you do, libertarians, don't get vaccinated. I don't want you to get vaccinated. The government doesn't want you to get vaccinated.
Yes.
Do not get vaccinated. And don't wear a mask.
You need to
dare
create
wear a mask.
these facilities that are like guarded by a bunch of proxy guards, and they just have
FEMA camp.
they have a bunch of vaccines and masks in them, and then you're gonna see these like crazies that are like, what are they guarding in there? I got to get this, and you got to use that kind of reverse psychology, like what King, what was it, Frederick II of Prussia did, because they wouldn't
So
eat
what
their
you're
damn.
saying is that we should start charging people directly, like $100 copay to get one, and if they think that only the rich can get it, then they'll all want it.
Yeah.
All right, folks, I'm trying to end this fucking show.
We're not going to let you. So what we're going to do is get the
What we're
vaccines
going
and
to do
masks,
is then
put them in
shove
FEMA
the
camps,
red ass a fucking ass
guard
off,
them,
like
Camps.
him, and
and then
I'll
tell
bet,
people they can't have them.
up his